So before we start, let's listen to some more crashing out about the Canelo fight. This time it's not a Canelo fanboy, it's a Crawford hater. Let's take a listen.
Congratulations to Bud being the face of boxing at 38 because he's never done anything for the last 20 years to increase the outlook of the sport. Congratulations to Bud being the asterisk undisputed champion who's never beat more than 2 champions to become undisputed. He allowed 2 other men to beat everybody and came in on a good night and became undisputed 3 times. Never had to go through negotiations with 3 different promoters. Never had to fight 3 different styles of champions. He just came in on his one night, has a good night, and then becomes undisputed. Congratulations to a man who licks his tongue out at grown men in the ring. Congratulations to boxing, having the king in the face of boxing, having 99 fans before he becomes undisputed, and then having 99 fans after he's undisputed. We appreciate Bud being the king of one night. We have the undisputed king in 3 divisions being good on one night, and he gets all the credit for always being good.
This nigga hurt.
The latest reason why Terence Crawford won the fight is the oil. The oil that was rubbed on his body helped him defeat Canelo Alvarez. After Canelo Alvarez told us out of his own mouth that he could not figure out the style. And I guess we could put this among the other excuses we got. Well, Canelo is past his prime. He's a B-level fighter. Turkey paid him off, which is my favorite, and it's hard for me to believe. And with the latest addition, Terence Crawford got lucky on 3 nights. He was the best man in 3 nights. And those 3 nights he was lucky, he became an undisputed champion. You can't make this up, and these are grown adults here. Now, Eddie Hearn wants to prove that Jaron Ennis is boxing's next great star by facing Terence Crawford. Now, Jaron Boots Ennis is a very talented fighter, or maybe it's just flash, but he has not proved that to us boxing fans yet. Now, Eddie Hearn chimes in on this. I don't own the rights to this content. It's for educational purposes only. Let's listen to what Eddie Hearn has to say about his superstar.
I think that Crawford could move down and win a world title at 160. And that would make him, what, 6 division champ? 5, 35, 40, 47, 54, 6 division champion. But the problem is Terence Crawford now is really only going to want a fight for big money. And there's only certain fights that can generate that kind of money. Terence Crawford against Jaron Ennis, for me, is the best fight in American boxing. But it needs to be a payday for Crawford that would get him interested, because Crawford knows how good Boots is. And I'm not saying that Crawford thinks he's going to lose to Boots, but he knows that is a real fight. But for me, Boots is the new Crawford. We've just got to go out and get the fights to show how great he is.
Now, I can remember the Canelo fanboys, not the Canelo fans, the Canelo fanboys, the fanatics, was telling me, and I saw videos all over the place, that once Boots Ennis touched down in Canelo's camp, it was a wrap. Because Boots Ennis could switch hit like Terence Crawford. But what they forget, he doesn't have the IQ Crawford has, and they don't fight alike. Yeah, it would help Canelo to get familiar with the switch hitting style, which did not help him in this fight. But that was the reason Boots was in Canelo's camp. And what I heard was Boots called him, Canelo didn't call him. And like I said, it did not work out for Boots because Canelo ended up losing the fight. Now, as far as Boots fighting Terence Crawford, I do not think Eddie Hearn really wants to make that fight. And I don't think Jaron Boots Ennis wants that fight. And I'll go further. Virgil Ortiz says he will fight Terence Crawford at 160. That fight's not going to happen either. Both those guys had opportunities to fight Terence Crawford at 147, and both their teams declined to make the fight. So now, all Jaron Boots Ennis is doing now is clout chasing. Eddie Hearn is clout chasing. They are attaching their name to Terence Crawford. And at this stage of Terence Crawford's career, what does really Boots Ennis or Virgil have to offer Terence Crawford? Boots is no longer a champion, and Virgil has never been a champion. And the 2 things Crawford wants in his next fight is money and another title. Crawford is trying to be a 6th division world champion. Neither one of these guys have belts, and they both fight at 154, which Crawford said he's not going to anymore. And this is why it's a clout chase. Because Crawford's not going to 154. Boots just got to 154, so he's not moving to 160 or 168. to fight Terence Crawford. And then if Boots did go to 160, he would have to get a belt first. And another thing, the money is not there for Boots Ennis or Terence Crawford. You hear a lot of people talk about the fight online, but the reality is, you hear a lot of guys online screaming for the fight because they want to see someone that possibly could beat Terence Crawford in their mind. And another thing is this, they're not going to pay for the fight. They just want to see it. Netflix is not asking for a Boots and Terence Crawford fight, if you get what I'm saying. As far as Boots Ennis being the next Terence Crawford, I just don't see it. Like I said, the guy's very talented, very flashy, but I just don't see the IQ, and I do not see a guy who has the grit. Terence Crawford runs to the smoke. It seems like Boots Ennis runs from the smoke. We'll see what happens in these next 2 years in Jaron Boots Ennis' career. But the guy's already had 35 fights, 7 less than Crawford, and the best guy on his resume is a Monty Stanionis, who's the email champion. And the thing is, Boots Ennis is not blackballed in the sport. The politics are not playing a role when it comes to Boots Ennis. He's been offered pretty good fights. Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, Virgil Ortiz, the Crawford fight at 147 with Black Prime, and the Green Machine, Kavaliauskas, offered to fight Boots Ennis twice and was turned down. But anyway, leave your thoughts and comments below. Beezy, I'm gone.